Forgive me, I forgot to put the noise machine on, and this way I can speak louder and not bother my roommate. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. This week has been really weird, guys, for energy. I don't know if you guys are feeling that, but it's been very, very strange for me. We're going to do a separate reading later, but for right now, we're using this deck as the main deck. We're not going to pull out our other one. We're going to use the Wild Reflections Tarot deck, okay? And then our second deck that we're going to be using tonight is Everyday Witch, okay? So we're going to use them for clarity. Let's get started, all right? I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody has had a beautiful day. I have my wrong glasses on so I can see the screen, but it's blurry because these are very, very strong glasses. I have the wrong ones on. Let's go, Libra. Let's go. Let's see what comes. What does Spirit want to talk to us about today? We're going to draw 10, okay? We're going to draw 10. This one fell out on its own. We're going to keep it. Okay, we're drawing 10. There we go. We're drawing 10. Let's see what comes. Spirit, what would you like to talk to us about? Libra collective reading is it's not a one-to-one reading. It's a general reading. But you're all welcome. All air signs are welcome here. Anything you'd like to talk to us today about, Libra? For Libra. What would you like to talk to Libra about? For Libra. For Libra. Okay. So far we have 3 on the table. It's a good start. That's a good start. Okay. They're flipping out, guys, like hotcakes. They're flipping out like hotcakes. We're going to take 10. That's what we normally do, okay? Anything else for Libra, please? Oh, Spirit, that's too many. That's too many. We'll take this one. We're putting this one back. I put it upside down. Yeah, wouldn't you know, right? All right. Anything else for Libra, please? Please and thank you. Anything else for Libra, please? Okay. I think we're done. Oh, my. Okay. All right, Libra. Oh, wow. Don't know if I like these cards, but that's what Spirit gave us. That's what we're going with. So the first one is the Queen of Wands. Okay? Queen of Wands is what we've got. Ooh. Let me call out the cards to you and then we'll start. The next one you have is the Nine of Wands. Hi, everyone. How are y'all doing today? I hope everybody's well. You have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay? You have the World card. Okay, and again, we're using the Wild Reflections Tarot. You have the King of Swords here. You have the Nine of Pentacles. You have the Four of Swords. You have the Hangman. I love this Hangman. That's awesome, right? You have the Emperor. What? You have the Emperor. Oh my gosh. And you have the Five of Cups. All right, Libra. My goodness. Just looking down, I can tell you that the Queen of Wands, I think it's you today. I don't like your energy. Your energy is kind of low, but that's okay. What's helping you is you have the Ace of Pentacles here, okay? Your mind is making money. Your mind is on making money, I should say. It's on getting things done. It's on getting that revenue. But even though I see that the world is coming towards you, I also see this card as someone that needs rest. So between the World and the Nine of Wands, I feel like you're putting out a lot of effort, Libra. You're putting out a lot of effort. And I just don't want you to get burned out, okay? You have the King of Swords. It kind of shifts the energy. That is an air sign. It's either Libra male energy that's coming through, or it's just telling you to be more logical, okay? The Nine of Pentacles here. So as you're trying to get your Nine of Pentacles, they are asking you to be a little careful with your energy. Here you have the Four of Swords. So remember I said, to me, this card reminds me a lot of the Four of Swords in that it needs rest. You need rest. Even your brain needs to rest now and again, okay? I don't know why this material is following me tonight. It didn't do that yesterday, so that's really interesting to me. And with the Four of Swords, for me, that is telling me indeed you do need to rest. Maybe you need to look at your schedule better, Libra. Maybe you need to, if you're an entrepreneur like I am, then you need to look at your schedule and you need to delegate at least one day. That's you time. And when I say you time, I mean you sleep, not you watching TV or you scrolling on YouTube or anything else, but actual rest and relaxation, because I feel like a lot of you are getting burned out and we're only in the beginning of the year. So that's not a good thing. Putting yourself in the hangman position is a good thing. I will tell you that. When you sit here in contemplation with the Nine of Wands, like I'm looking down at this one, that's all the worry. That's all the deep concern that you're carrying for the day or the week. That's not good. We need to be able to release that. However, when you're in this kind of hangman position, right now, the way it's coming out, the hangman that is, it's trying to tell you to put yourself in timeout. If you're waiting for words of wisdom, if you're waiting for direction from God, this is the only way you're going to hear it. You're not going to hear it by running around and running yourself ragged and not doing much else. You've got to let go, let God, and you've got to allow things to unfold and manifest for you, because sometimes it is a us thing, meaning that you're moving the energy, and sometimes it's a God thing, meaning you gotta let go and let God. So from the King of Swords here, what I'm gathering is that, again, you've got to work smarter, not harder. Something you're doing is taking all your energy and you're feeling depleted. So give yourself time to rest. Do listen to the Emperor, okay? The Emperor is coming around to tell you that you need to have more play in your life, more joy, more relaxation, more things that are more pleasurable, because otherwise you end up in the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is not a good position. It's not a good place to be, Libra. I don't think that you want that for yourself. I don't think you want burnout for yourself. A lot of times also I've been told, most recently by Spirit, is that some Libras are hiding away and they rather literally be at work than be at home, because being at home, if they have somebody at home that's argumentative, fighting all the time, they'd rather just be working. And that's all well and good. But at the same time, then your mind is always taxed. Your mind is always going, and your body goes with your mind. So it's never relaxed. It's tensed. It's tensed up. So you'll have knots on your shoulders, knots in your neck, you know, cricks. You'll feel your shoulders tensed because you're always ready to fight, or you're always ready to defend yourself. So Spirit is saying that's not a good thing either. So be careful with that. Spirit, anything you would like to tell us with this beautiful deck? Any advice you would like to tell us or give us? When I say us, I mean Libras. So glad you joined me. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, that's what I thought. We're not doing all of those, Spirit, but I will take the first one. Put my glasses back on so I can read the teeny tiny writing. I love this because I'm going to tell you a small story, and please indulge me just for a minute. When I was a little kid, I had no idea that I had any connection to gypsies. Sorry, lack of a better term. We are Rom. The Rom came out of India over 1,000 years ago, okay? I had no idea I had any connections to India as a child. The only thing I knew was that I was a Spanish little girl, and that's all I knew, okay? But for some reason, it came very natural to me to stand on my head. I would do all these things, and my family thought I was odd, okay? Let me just put it to you that way. But when I see this, that's what it reminds me of. When I was a little kid, it was relaxing. I don't even know if I saw it somewhere, but I just did it automatically, you know. And my mom at that time allowed me to do and explore all these things that were very natural, like climbing trees and bathing outside, you know, with the rain and things like that. And it just came natural. I just did them because I just did them. I didn't know any better, right? I didn't know I was connected to anything. But the yogis have a sense of center or centeredness, right? And when they go into these practices, right, because that is a form of yoga, and I didn't even know I was doing yoga at the age of 8, is just going back to yourself, to centering yourself. And that's what this is reminding me of, is that when I was a kid, I did things that kids did. They just came natural. You see that like a somersault or standing on your head, you know, kind of thing. And sometimes, the reason I'm bringing this up is because sometimes, and I'm always saying this on this channel, we forget how to be kids. Maybe kids come along and then they're allowed to be kids. But we're always adulting, okay? And I'm talking to parents. I'm talking to people that have found themselves being caregivers to someone else. And that always seems to take precedence. But Spirit wants you to rest. Spirit wants you to play. Spirit wants you to have a sense of wonderment like you did when you were a child. And a lot of you don't. And I'm going to put myself in there because I'm a Libra too. I'm always trying to be the adult in the room and trying to make sure that I'm the diplomat and trying to make sure that I'm always making everybody happy. But I'm never balanced within myself, because by the time I find out that I'm not balanced, it's a really big course correction that people like myself have to do, being an empath and being a giver all the time. So I say all that to say that you got to relax. You got to relax, kid. You're doing too much. So somehow, some way, I don't care if it's 5 minutes a day, you've got to relax. Joy and delight is this card. Joy and delight. And you have to have joy in your life. And it's funny because when I was in the car earlier, I'm back to dashing. So I was in the car earlier and I was saying to myself, I am peace, love, and light. And I carry the joy of my Creator within me. And I share the love that Creator shares with me and creates inside of me. I share it outwardly wherever I go. And I feel that that's the way that you guys are at this time, is that you're taking care of people. You're wanting to take care of others. You're not being selfish. You're being, you know, good with the energy and the vibes that God gives you. And those are beautiful things to want to do. But always remember to give back to yourself, because otherwise you're empty, okay? All right. This one is affirmation for acceptance. And that's the other thing. And I posted that song today, you know, because you are good enough, okay? It's called The Truth. And that is the truth. Your God is your Father because He's the creator of all. We may have earthly parents if they're still alive, but they're never going to compare to the way that your God, which is your creator, from which your essence comes, both your energy and everything that your body, the composition of your essence, when I'm talking about the carbon and everything else that's part of your body, the DNA that's within your body, all of that comes from your creator. It was formed and fashioned in your mother's womb, but that was the creator's doing. That did have something to do with your parents, of course, when they did the you know what, but at the same time, it would not be possible if it were not for Creator. So stop and think about that, okay? And have that joy. Have the affirmation that you are good enough, that everything that you do in life is a learning process, okay? Because a lot of us are very hard on ourselves. And why? Well, some of it is because we don't have any self-esteem or enough self-esteem, okay? That's one facet. The other side of that coin is You don't want to be a narcissist, right? You don't want to be that alpha female or male that's always narcissistic to that point. You don't want to do that. But on the other hand, you also don't want to have to take your P's and Q's from somebody else that tells you you're not good enough or makes you feel like you're not good enough, because you're always going to be empty. I promise you that. You will always feel empty. For one whole year, I went to the gym, and I didn't even think it was possible. By the time I had my third child, I was a size 6. That's still relatively small framed, small body composition for 3 kids, okay? And I didn't think I could get back down there because I had a hysterectomy when I was 27. It was a health scare. And long story short, I ballooned up to a size 16, and I was devastated because I had never been that big in my life. This is my new me. And I say all that to say that I was in the gym. I was a gym rat, day in and day out, without miss. Watched my diet, etc. I went down to a size 6. And the person I was with was still calling me fat, telling me big girls need love too. So if you listen to bullshit like that, that can devastate you, and that can make you feel like you're nothing, like you're insignificant. You can't listen to narcissistic people. They will never have anything good to say to you. And the reason is, in order for you to elevate, they have to, in their opinion, they have to de-escalate, right? They have to go down. They have to go down in value, in size. They're not the big person. They're not the big guy on campus anymore. So they have to make you feel bad about yourself in order to make their ego soar. So you can't rely on what they're telling you, because I promise you, then you're always going to feel less than. You're always going to feel like you're not good enough. And this happens to men too. Women tell you some bullshit. You know, if your hair is falling out, for example, women will tell you some ugly things about yourself. I raised up my twin flame. I never talked about his hair, but the truth is, he's balding, and I mean balding. And I never made him feel inferior in any way because he was losing his hair. After all, I didn't fall in love with him for his hair. But when I asked him, how do you like my hair? He said, oh, I've always loved your hair color. That's not what the question was. I knew I had a bad haircut. The freaking doggone dumbass, my hair was down to here, and I had cut it from there to here. And I just asked her for a trim, and she went at it. So you can check back on all the videos I posted 6 months ago. My hair was all the way up to here. So I knew I didn't look good, but I was looking to him for validation. That was the wrong answer. I should have never asked him for validation. Although I gave him his, and I never mentioned his hair falling out, because that wasn't the whole person. That wasn't all there was to him. But unfortunately, all he could see was my hair and a bad haircut that I had gotten from the crazy lady that decided to cut all my hair off. So again, long story short, do not get validation from outside of yourself or from outside of your God, because you will probably fall short. They probably will fall short, and they'll make you feel bad about yourself. Instead of raising you up, they're going to make you feel down. That day, I just wanted one person to go, gosh, yeah, it doesn't matter what your hair looks like. You always look nice. That would have been the right thing to say. Oh, you know, I love you no matter what you look like. But I didn't get that. So again, who's bad? That was my bad for looking outside of myself for validation. You don't do that, my folks. You don't do that. Let's see. Hi, Paul. How are you doing? Hi, John. How are you doing? Yes, dear. We all need to play. You're right. Let's see what our last one says here. Strength and resilience. What did I say? So yeah, you're trying really hard from the cards that I've got on the table, especially with that 9 of Wands. It's like, I'm not going to be defeated. I'm not backing down. You know, I'm going to go for it. And the King of Swords is very much of a stern person. I mean, we can use him when we want to keep going because he's a no-nonsense king. But the Emperor here is still in the 5 of Cups. So it doesn't matter how hard you work if you don't rest. Yes, you're resilient. You can bounce back. But remember, we only have good health one time. So instead of ruining our good health, we have to have a balance of mind, body, and spirit. It's an all-encompassing, all-in-one. If we neglect one for the other, you know, let's say we neglect our good health for finances. In the end, what do we have? We have somebody who is always sick, right? Or may have a chronic illness in the end, because they're not resting for all the worry and concern with the Nine of Wands, right? And with the go-getter energy of the King of Swords, I can do it. I can do it. And yeah, you can do it. Nobody's saying you can't do it. Because look, you get the Ace of Pentacles. You get the Ace of Pentacles there, guys. And then here you get the Nine of Pentacles. So yeah, you're going to get you some. No doubt. No doubt. Use the wise self of this Emperor here. And the Emperor is like a father figure. So let's say that this is your God, right? God is our Father. Be that father or mother. No, let's stick with father. Be the father that you need for yourself. Give yourself that talk. And I don't care if you're a female. I'm a female all day, every day. I was born that way and I'm proud, loud and proud about it. Okay? Be that father figure, the higher self that you need to talk sense to you sensibly, logically, like the King of Swords. Okay? Because the logic is, okay, flip side, we can't stay at home and eat bonbons, like I like to say, all day long, every day, watching the soap operas, which I haven't watched since 1991. 1991, I haven't watched a soap opera. Not kidding. Not a regular one. Not a regular one. And I used to be an avid watcher, of course, right? In those days, as the world turns, the whatever, I don't even know all of them, all my children, and I don't know what else, right? But you can't do that if you want to pay your bills and you want to live inside and not outside, right? In the cold. So that's logical. But if you go too far, right, overboard on the other side of that, then you end up really needing your rest. Really, really, really needing your rest. And it's unfortunate, but when you have a lot of stressors, when you have a lot of cortisol that's coming in, or even when you get yourself so excited because you're so upset, right? Your heart is racing and it's always, you know, up in arms. Your blood pressure is rising and everything. It's not good. You end up with a very unbalanced self that's going to need even more rest, right? So be careful with that, Libra. There has to be a work-life balance is what I'm trying to say. There has to be a work-life balance. You have to have affirmations for the self that you're good enough and that everything that you are has nothing to do with anybody. Even if you're happily married, it's still your happiness and your self-value has nothing to do with the other person. And I'm not sitting here preaching, I promise you. It took me 50 some odd years to realize that I don't need outside validation from anybody. That the only person that needs to love me and the only person that needs to accept me is me. Okay? Is me. We're all here to learn. So it's better late than never. And don't ever allow anybody to put you into some kind of a box. Because there's something for everyone. And now I'm talking about trades, work, career. There's something for everyone. If you're a stay-at-home person, if you're a stay-at-home parent, if you work and the other person doesn't, or if both people work to bring in the finances. Let me tell you, until I moved to New Hampshire, I never knew what it was like to have to share a space with someone I don't fucking know. That was the scariest shit ever. Luckily, this time around, I met this lady when I was working. So at a job, I met her. So I kind of know her, but I don't know her. And that's the only thing that makes it feel a little more comfortable. But do you understand what I'm saying? Life can present different scenarios for you that you've got to create a balance for, right? And an acceptance. For me, the acceptance was having to share a space, because in Texas, I always had my own place. I always was able to pay for my own place and to live in my own home, whether I owned it or rented. It didn't matter. I never had to share except with my children, right? Or if I was married. But this has been a new thing for me, and it's a humbling as well. It's a humbling experience. So there are certain things you cannot help, and until you can help them, then you have to learn to be resilient. You have to learn to affirm your own value. It's not that I have no value, because I can't, right now currently, that I can't say I have ownership of my own house here. You have to use my example, use myself as an example for you. Coming here, I've only been here less than 2 years. Coming here and being able to rent, for one, that's a feat in itself. There's a lot of homelessness here. There's a lot of homelessness here, and they call it unhoused. No, it's called homeless. Unhoused is just a fancy term for homelessness. And you've got to give yourself kudos where you can. So let's go on, because for whatever, spirit is now reaching out onto another, like an avenue. We're splitting off here. So let's say for some of you, you don't have the ideal job right now. You don't have the job that you want. You don't have the job or career that you envision yourself being able to do and being very happy in it. Okay? That's okay. Give yourself a break. If you feel like you've got to work harder than everybody else just to make ends meet, that's going to pass. It's not going to be forever. But you have to create just a little piece of heaven for yourself. That's why I asked earlier today, Valhalla, is that a state of mind or an actual place? Because when you're here on earth, you have to find your own piece of heaven. You have to find it. You have to steady yourself. I've always said to myself, to my higher self, so long as one thing is not spinning out of control in my life and I can keep my eye on that, I'm good to go. But when everything is not a controlled chaos, it's literally chaos, you're going to feel like this 9 of Wands very often, and you're going to feel like this 4 of Swords, where you need that rest. You need that rest. And look, you end up feeling the 5 of Cups, and nobody's even in the picture with you. This is you feeling bad about you. So again, Libra, I don't want you feeling that way about yourself, but you do have to create a process that works for you. It's let's put it on the same line as a budget, okay? You know how much you bring home every week, more or less, right? Or every 2 weeks or every month, and you make a budget off of that, and then that's how much you know how to allocate to whatever bills, including food, right? Food and shelter. All right, same thing, but this is going to be more like a time management type of scheduling that you're going to do. And no, you don't have to stick to that schedule like, be a militant to yourself. No, but at least this way you start learning how you're spending your time. This is going to show you how much of your time is going to work, how much time is going to play, how much time you're actually lollygagging, watching TV, or playing video games, or whatever it is that you feel like you need to be doing, right? Or that's your favorite pastime. Also want to incorporate into all of that some time to be outdoors. And I know, if you live in a cold climate or in the lower 50 states, as it is, or as it were right now, you guys are having winter. I know this, my dears. I know this. We're having winter everywhere, but for some reason the snow decided to go over there with El Nino, and we have El Nina, and we don't know what the hell we're going to get, which is even worse. So you have to, even if it's 5 minutes a day, go outside. Go outside. Even if it's 5-minute brisk walk, go outside. Breathe in that fresh air. Because as I always tell you, if you have the central air on, that air is just circulating. That's all you're getting in your lungs. You're not getting any fresh air. I have the window open. During the day, I have it cracked like this. During the night, I have it cracked like this. I can't do it. I don't care. I know it's only 18 degrees outside, but at the same time, my body emits a lot of thermal energy. So I need to have the coolness in order to sleep well. But you have to regulate your life. If you're finding that you're burning out, you have to find a way to regulate your life. So just like you do your time management at work, right? You have 8 hours, right? You get there, let's say those that work in an office, been there, done that. And you have 8 hours and they give you all these tasks and you're multitasking. And during the 8 hours, somehow, some way, you're miraculously asked to stop at a stopping point and go have lunch. Mostly only 30 minutes if you live in New Hampshire. Son of a bitch, they don't even give you 5-minute breaks here. Talk about workhorses. And so you have to chew your food as fast as you can and swallow it. That is not a break, because your mind is like, oh my gosh, when I get off of lunch, I gotta go back to that, right? Because you're not finished. So here go the next 4 hours, right? So again, if that is your life, but somehow you're managing to do everything that you need to do for your job, for your boss, for the company in those hours, there has to be, because you're a smart cookie, Libra. You get this? Are you getting it? You're very smart. If you're able to do all of that for them and you're getting nothing in return except a paycheck, which you're doing probably the work of 3 or 4 people, you should get a paycheck at the very least, then you know that what I'm trying to tell you is you certainly can carve out 5 minutes to get that fresh air into your lungs. It's going to clear your mind. You're going to feel invigorated, and you won't feel like, God, now I can't do anything because I'm so burned out. I'm so tired. And also, by the time you get to bed, you'll feel better and you'll sleep better. Okay? All right, guys. Let's see if there's anything else. No, I don't want that one. I do talk to them, they talk to me, so if I'm answering myself, it's I'm not really answering myself, I'm answering them. Because they always want to direct everything. Anything else you can tell Libra? Where does Libra's luck lie right now? Where does Libra's luck lie right now, please, and thank you. Where does Libra's luck lie right now, please, and thank you. Libra's luck, please. Libra's luck. Anything else? Just one? Because we don't want a bunch of them. Start a whole brand new reading. Thank you. All right. Oh, I don't like that. What the heck? I told you guys. So I'm going to put it this way, so you can see both of them. You have the Two of Wands under the sun. Yes, Spirit. So Spirit is literally telling me, tell them their real life is waiting for them. Your real life is waiting to start, but you're in the Two of Wands energy. Some of you, out of fear, you don't want to step out of your comfort zone to do something different. Some of you don't believe that you can achieve whatever it is that you're dreaming of doing, that you're not supposed to be doing right now, meaning you're in the wrong job. Not, disclaimer, I'm not telling you call your boss right now and tell them you quit. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you now is the time, because Spirit is saying your real life is waiting for you, but you're at a crossroads with the Two of Wands. So how long do you think this is going to wait? Now is the time where I tell you about the Lazy Susan. How does the Lazy Susan work? Thank you. I thought you'd never ask. A Lazy Susan, for those that don't know, it's not a person that sits on the middle of your table and you kind of spin the bottle with them. No, it's a round thing that you put platters of food on, and you have people that have joined you for dinner or whatnot, for a meal, and you turn the wheel and a new plate appears in front of you. If that's what you want, then you grab some and put it on your plate and you turn the wheel so that you can get the next course, and you allow the other person next to you to do the same. Okay? The way the universe works is they will bring you the Lazy Susan to stop in front of you, your new life. If you procrastinate because of fear Fear paralyzes people. That's why I don't like talking about people that thrive in living in fear, because you do a whole lot of nothing. I know, right? I'm being ugly. Sorry. Spirit says that I have to tell you this. Procrastination is not your friend. So when you procrastinate, you're not stepping out of your fear and your paranoia, right? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I know it's not going to work. I can't try that. That's dangerous. Okay. All right. But Spirit is telling you, this is your life and it's waiting for you. Your new life with the sun, it's bright and shiny. It's waiting for you. But you decide to stay in the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a crossroads. Do I go left? Do I go right? Where do I start? You start by moving one foot in front of the other. One foot. I might fall, Victoria. You're not going to fall. You're not going to fall. Right now, what you're doing is overworking yourself. Right now, what you're doing is you're trying to use the King of Swords logic to tell you that all you got to do is work for that money. Let's work for them Benjamins. Yeah. Go, mule. Go. I can just imagine your higher self, instead of telling you to rest, relax, and meditate, and time out, and let's do some time management to fit all these fun things in. I don't know, go and ride a bike, go ride your rollerblades. Yeah, I know, I said right. Go to the gym, go to a museum. I'm looking into the museum, by the way, but probably have to do the Boston ones because they're lame here in Manchester. Sorry, Manchester, love you. But you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, you've got to find time to do you. And doing you doesn't mean your job. That means your job is doing you. And you know what I mean, right? Because we're all adults. You know what I'm insinuating. Your job is doing you. Yeah. So you've got to find time to do life. Get into life. Live life. Because what are you going to do? You're 60, 70, 80 years old and you finally start having fun. You finally start realizing, oh man, I was working for the man, but the man was getting rich. The man's business was going up. Their stocks were going up. I didn't get any stocks. It wasn't an employee-owned business. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. So I'm not saying you don't have to go to work. You do have to go to work, unfortunately, unless you're a millionaire, a trillionaire, or whatever, okay? Or you have your own business and you can set your own hours. But yeah, you got to get out of the Two of Wands, because that's a crossroads. That's a, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want. You better find out. You better find out, because let me tell you something. The table is filled with hungry people, hypothetically, right? The table is filled with hungry people. And Helga decided she wasn't going to eat until lunch or dinner time, whenever this is happening, because she was going to have some lazy Susan food galore. She's going to have the smorgasbord, okay? So you got some hungry people looking at you like, look, bitch, you either you're going to take your new life, which is the sun, or keep your Two of Wands, but I got to eat, so I'm not on a diet. I got to go. And that's the way the lazy Susan of the universe works. If you don't take whatever's being offered to you, which is the sun, beautiful card, Libra. It's a beautiful card. By the way, I do, disclaimer, I do curse. I am not apologizing. I'm just disclaiming. If you don't take what's on the lazy Susan, then the next person, Tiffany, Mary, whatever, Eddie, whatever, there's no shame in their game. They're going to take everything that the universe has to give them. So take time to make time to get into your life and live it, because otherwise you're being a drone, you're being a robot, and you're just going through the motions, and you're not doing anything that's good for you except paying your bills, which, I'm going to confess something. I enjoy paying my bills on time. I do. It gives me a sense of relief. But that's short-lived, because then stupid Bank of America tells me you got a payment to make on the 20th and it's only the 1st. It's like, you know how to work the mind, don't you, Bank of America? Yes, they do. That's the point. You're working to just pay bills. That has to stop. You can't be doing that to yourself, because you're running yourself down. You make yourself sick. And then what's going to happen? Even if you had money in the bank, but you should pass away, God forbid that you unalive, right? What happens to the money? So you've got to take some of that money, just a little bit of that money, right? And you've got to enjoy your life. Somebody's writing a heck of a lot of stuff. Is it Tracy? Hi, Tracy. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Yes. 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 Exactly. You have to trust that God's not going to let you fall. You've got to trust yourself, because part of God is inside of you, and God doesn't make junk. So you think he didn't give you a brain that you can use to balance things out and figure things out with the logic of this king, right? The King of Swords, but not the harshness of the Emperor, because the Emperor can be harsh. So working like a little slave person is not the answer. Yes, you've got to pay bills, but do you know how long it's been since I had a vacation, a sabbatical? I haven't had one since 2009. So why do you think I'm looking at the museum? Because this, I'm preaching to my own self as well, being a Libra. I'm very much structured about, trying to be responsible and everything. That's a wonderful thing. But then if you don't have downtime at all to where you're in life and doing life, then you're only observing life, and you're providing. You're providing for somebody else. You're providing for those that you need to take care of, or you're providing for your responsibilities, but you're not feeding the self. You're not feeding your soul. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I promise you. So I'm not here either, because don't take it that way either. I'm not here to promote spend all your money, don't pay your bills. That's not what I'm saying. So please don't take it out of context. What I'm trying to say is, once every 2 weeks or once a month, do something that's just for you. Just for you. I don't care if you have children. I don't care if you're a caregiver to your parents or your grandparents or your siblings or your cats and your dogs. You know what? There's even doggy daycares now, okay? So don't have any excuses. Now you can leave at least one day and just push away. Push away. Push away. Where is he? I put it backwards. Push it away. Push yourself off the shore, right? Just push your little canoe off the shore and get into the water and just relax and be you. If you have to give yourself permission, okay, I guess, to do this. I'm saying okay, I guess, but honestly, I'm having to do that too, because I was going to do a local, which would be 5 minutes away. There's no good museums here. If I want to go to a museum that I think is to the caliber of what I want, then I'm going to have to go to Boston, which is going to be a 3-hour drive, going and coming, depending on what time of the day. But you got to do what you got to do. Okay, I also want to go back to Salem, because I didn't really walk Salem. I drove through Salem, Massachusetts, and really, for me, it was a bust. But they have some gnarly thrift stores over there, so maybe I need to go to the thrift store again. I don't know. The point is to do something that is not work. It's not work related. And if you're like me, the other thing you might feel, just letting you know, the other thing you might feel is guilt. Yep, you're going to feel guilt. And when you first start doing something for yourself that has nothing to do with children, has nothing to do with a significant other, that has nothing to do for a boss or a company or a landlord or bank, you're going to feel guilt, because you're so used to being the little drone and robot and just doing what you need to do, and you got to keep going and going and going. Like this Queen of Wands that I hardly mentioned, but this Queen of Wands, the energy of her essence is of fire. So she can get things done. She can get things done. She's a doer and a shaker, a mover and a shaker. So she can get things done. That's a beautiful thing. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but did you see that the 9 of Wands was right next to her? So that means she's depleting all her energy. Okay? And our bodies are much like a battery. That's why once you get to a certain amount of time being awake, for me it's 12 hours, it's time to go Betty bye. And even if I can't sleep, sometimes I've been known to just lay down, close my eyes, even if it's for 15 minutes. And then I'm like, whoopsie-doos, I'm up again, because that's all I needed. But you've got to do something. You can't just keep going and going and going and going and going. It's just not, it's not feasible. Even electric cars have to be plugged in, right? So this has been your reading, Libra. It was a little unorthodox today, but I'm glad, because in this way, Spirit had a time to connect with you, had time to connect with you and talk to you as a one-on-one human being, someone having a human experience. And it's hard being a human. A lot of things are asked of us. I'm going to tell you a secret, okay? I'm going to tell you 2 secrets. One thing, unless you've already accomplished the art of being extremely wealthy, it's very hard to be here. It's very hard to be in this body. It's very dense. It's very, there's a lot of demands on you as a human. You have to go out and work to earn money. You have to oh, there it goes. Oh, there it goes. Oh, people, much love and light to you guys. That's my message to you, is that God is always here listening, and God doesn't want you working like a little slave. That's just not something that God wants from you. God wants you to also, as much as you're here and you have to put up with so much density. The second thing I wanted to say is, what makes it all worth being here in human form is you cannot beat the sensation of touch. And without the body, just being in spirit, there's hardly ever a time when I can feel spirit touching me. When they do touch me, it's because they know how much I need them, or because they're trying to soothe me, and then I can feel them touching me, patting me, hugging me, etc. But having that one-to-one with a significant other where you can share touch, there's nothing like it. And that's what makes it worth being a human. But then again, that's exactly why when Christ was asked, which is the greatest gift? Because a lot of people have the gift of second sight, psychic abilities, etc. A lot of people have healing abilities. A lot of people have the gift of the gap, right? The tongue, being able to speak eloquently. A lot of people have are mathematicians, philosophers, etc. And when asked, the greatest gift, he said, was love. So again, if you have a significant other, touch them, hold them, hug them, kiss them, let them know that they are loved, but also expect them to give you the same amount of love and the same kind of love that you give to them. Much love and light to you. I'm sorry for that interruption. As soon as I get off, I'll see who that was. But it never fails that right when I'm delivering a message that I really feel that needs to be heard and needs to be given to you, somebody is coming in with their nonsense. So thank you so much for sharing this time with me, and I hope that this helps some way, somehow, that you gleaned some kind of nuggets, gold nuggets for yourself. And if you are that little workaholic, that little workhorse, do better and be better for yourself. Much love and light. Bye, guys. Bye. See you tomorrow.